Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hobby Lodge, and in this video I thought I would do a bit of an update on how things have gone in 2024 and then plans for 2025. So if you're up for it, let's crack on. So yes, I haven't done this kind of video for quite some time. I don't really do pickups videos or room tour videos very often or channel update videos often, but they are really important because if I don't tell you what's happening with the channel, maybe you'll lose interest or you're just not sure and you're not sure why you're here and why you're listening to this content. So I'm going to try and hopefully clear some of that up and talk about what went on in 2024 to start with. So certainly it's on me for not producing as much content as maybe I would hope. You go through bouts of like lack of creativity or lack of desire to do this sometimes, and that can harm obviously anyone's channel doing that. And I certainly had periods of that last year where I wasn't sure why I was doing the content. When I sometimes look on YouTube, I think, well, I might review a game or I might talk about a board game or a painting thing that I'm doing. I think, well, it's been done by everybody else, so why would you want to watch mine? And a good friend of mine did say to me, in fact, a number of friends of mine did say to me, it's all about your version of that. So yes, I might be able to go and watch someone else doing some of those things. But yeah, it's not your version of it. So I'd like to see your version of it. And that was a really good point. Like I said, again, I give that point to anybody else. If you're doing this, then we want to hear about you and your experiences. So that's something that's definitely helped me spur me on to go and do things. But I am enjoying more of the live streaming side of this content creation than say the more static videos like the one you're watching now. In live streams, I find myself to be much more natural, much more enjoying it, having a back and forth with a chat and things like that. So I think there's going to be more of a focus on those live streams certainly going forward, but they were the highlights for me in 2024. We managed to hit episode 100 in Monday Night Retro, which was really cool. We did a number of painting live streams, which even people that aren't into miniature painting came along and they said they really enjoyed them. They find them quite relaxing, almost like ASMR type videos, which is great for me because I get to get work done. Essentially, anyone who's in the miniature painting hobby knows we have what's called the pile of shame or the pile of grey that we want to get painted. So a live stream where you're interacting with people and having a good laugh and just chilling out, but you're also getting miniatures painted, means you're making your way through that pile of grey. And certainly I still have a lot of shame or potential or grey or whatever you want to call it to get done in 2025. But you know, we did do some videos as well. I had some great videos I've put out there, and I think in the future I'm going to focus more on those tutorial type videos. Some of my successful videos have been about creating something like rescuing the Commodore 64 tapes. I need to do a follow-up on that for Commodore 64 discs, even creating your own Amiga discs and so on and so forth. Like computer tutorials, I think people find more interesting, and the same with the tabletop stuff as well. People have really enjoyed the projector video I did for creating your own D&D tables via a projector rather than having a TV built into a table, which can be very expensive to do. But also the unboxings of board games, some of the let's plays, those sorts of things, because I think ultimately you get something from the video. You probably hopefully learn something, whether it was how to repair a Commodore 64 tape or how to play the latest board game like The Last of Us from Themeborn, which I did a video the other week for. So those are the things I'm going to probably concentrate more, because I don't think people are interested in my pickups videos. You may be, and if you are, stick it below, because I don't really do pickups videos. I pick up a lot of stuff, but I always forget to leave it to one side to then show you guys. I tend to get it, unbox it, get all excited about it and go, oh, I've got a new thing, let's get on with it and play it. This is a pickup, for instance, that I haven't told anyone about because I've already unboxed it, I've already started playing it. So, it's a bit late. I know people that are really good at pickup videos and they keep a dedicated pile to the side. I'm too eager to get into things and get them on the shelves and play with them, paint them, build them, whatever it might be. So by the time I get around to doing a pickups video, months have gone by. I can't do it. But if you are interested in those sort of things, I will show. I mean, I'll quickly show you now. Like, yes, that was one of those things I picked up, the Neo Geo MVS mini arcade. This is a tease to a project I want to do this year, where I'm going to blend my two biggest hobbies together. That's tabletop and video gaming. I'm going to build let's see if I can pull it off. But a mini arcade. I've got a perfect space for it in the lodge. This probably won't fit, but it gave me the idea. So the tabletop arcade, you can get replicas that I think are about yay big. Yeah, I wanna bring my two hobbies together and create an 80s arcade room in miniature form. So that's when I got this, that definitely ignited the light bulb moment for that project. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. Another recent pickup as well was the Spectrum. I never used to have a Spectrum Plus 2 or anything like that when I was a kid. I was a Commodore guy. You guys know that. I have Commodore Corner and Amiga Workbench behind me. But it's nice to be able to check out. Is it a competitor? Of course it was. But it's nice to have to check out other things. So yes, more homebrews on the Spectrum. So I'm actually able to play on these now rather than digging out the Harlequin to play it on there. But of course, other pickups as well, right? So homebrew games for the Commodore 64. I've got so many homebrew games and I only want to play physical ones. So they do come out digitally, but I'm a bit behind because I tend to wait for the physical to come out. And obviously one of my big loves has been everything that Cytronics has been doing. So Cytronics games, they've now brought out a very Hit Squad-esque type collection. These, let me try if I can get one up close for you. This, like this one here, Starfish, very akin to what the Hit Squad tapes would look like. They've numbered them and everything. So I have played some of these on a live stream, but I want to do proper reviews of these games because I love the Commodore 64 homebrew scene. So I want to do more reviews. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more of that going forward as well. And then when it comes to miniatures, I mean, I've got so many, it's untrue. I literally only a few weeks ago had the Moonstone Kickstarter arrive. Which I now have the entire collection. Oh, I nearly dropped one. Luckily they're in padding. But I have the entire collection of the new expansion for Moonstone. And I mean, there's a lot. That was just 4 of the 12 boxes I think there are. So it just goes on and on and on. So I have so many more miniatures to paint up that I don't know where to start, to be frank. But that's a project. Moonstone, we love Moonstone in this house. We've played a number of games on stream. We've done a number of videos on it, and that's going to continue to come. But also, got so many other games in here I want to be able to show you guys. Literally on the table behind me, I have one called Rangers over Shadow Deep, or Shadow over Rangers Deep. One of those two names. That's another game I want to be able to show you guys. And then other tabletop projects I want to do as well, like this. This is another sneak peek. So this is going to be a bit of a collab with my friend Retro Chef, and he's given me this Gundam model to make. This isn't mine, this is his. I do like doing projects for other people. I did one with Nerdy Geezer a long time ago for a 40k Dreadnought that I grimed up for him and made it look pretty cool. So yeah, I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time, and he had one and said, well look, let's do one. So we're going to find a time to do this on a live stream and do a cool Gundam model and paint that up and see what we can do with that. Maybe we'll go the whole hog and do battle damage and all of it. So yeah, that's another little project going on. So loads happening, and that's kind of a bit of a look back and a look forward. But yeah, certainly my spin on the videos, I think that's what people have been asked for. Will I do pickups videos? I don't know, but certainly the live stream will continue. I want to keep doing the Monday Night Retros. I have put a poll on the channel, if I haven't already said so, to ask, do I change the format? You know, do I change what I've done? For the last 100 episodes, I've pretty much taken a different console and a collection of games each week and played through them. Occasionally, I've taken a game like Sam's Journey, for instance, on the Commodore 64, and I did it over, I think, 4 streams. I went from start to finish. There's a different take on it there. But do I bring in more modern systems? Do people want to see me playing PS3, PS4, PS5, modern PC games, and so on and so forth? Do people want to see me actually finish games? So rather than spending 20-30 minutes on a game and then jumping onto the next one, doing a bit more of a long form play, you know, playing a game from start to finish. Again, selfishly for me, I quite like that idea because I get to play more games and I get to finish actual games. But even things like the Worms stream, I find playing Worms and then having your friends or YouTubers or whatever it is as the names of the worms and then doing commentary over the top of it, so much fun. Like, I just can't believe how much fun that is. And I've done a couple of streams of that now and really enjoyed it. So maybe that's something we do. With the wargaming, tabletop wargaming, I want to be able to do streams with people and play games with them. You know, even if they're remote, actually controlling the board game with them on camera and then moving the pieces for them so they can see what's happening. But more showcasing of the actual games. This room, and I might be putting some footage over this whilst I'm talking, but it's filled with board games, filled with war games. There are so many tabletop games in here. I'd love to show more of those. And again, with the actual video gaming as well, I think 2025 for me is going to be more of a play of what you have rather than try and just accumulate more. I have more video games and more tabletop war games, board games, than any person could play in a lifetime, probably. I was looking the other day, my Steam library is now like almost 1,200 games, and I think I've played tiny percent of them. That's pretty bad, right? You should play more games. Same with the war games. I have miniatures, historical, modern, post-apocalyptic, fantasy, almost every genre of miniature and board game you can think of, and I need to play more of those as well. So definitely for me, 2025 is going to be about playing more of what I have rather than just constantly accumulating more. So yeah, that's going to be another plan. The Hobby Lodge has changed itself as well. Not long over, almost a year ago, we changed the table behind us into the new format, the new arrangement it is now. We created Commodore Corner, we've created Amiga Workbench since then. There's been a lot of change in this room to get it to where actually I love it. I love the way it's now set up. I can't believe I used to have this table in the middle of the room. Yes, you could walk all around it, but you never really needed to. Like, it never, I just can't believe I didn't ever change that. So now having it in the way I have it, I have not only got more room, but I've able to create new spaces like the light gun alley, so you can stand here and play light guns. Like this bit over here now, where I can have the Wii and other games set up, and the stereo's now out. My stereo from when I was a child. Amiga Workbench is now set up. I keep pointing the wrong directions. It's this one. You have to remember your left from your right when you're reversed on a camera. But that there, Amiga Workbench in the corner you can't quite see, Commodore Corner. And I'll pop footage over all of this anyway. But it's such a nicer, usable space now, and so many little areas you can go off in. You know, my 3D printing corner is also up and running, and that's been great. And that's another thing I haven't done many videos on, people have asked for, which is the whole 3D printing process. How do you go about turning liquid goop into a miniature that you can then paint and play with, and so on? Doing terrain, all of the buildings behind me on that table are all 3D printed. So how do you go about doing some of that as well? And again, I know you can go anywhere and see this stuff, but it's my spin on it, my take on it. So that's kind of the other things I'm going to be looking at. And as I've said, the live streaming will continue. The Monday Night Retro, the format might change, but the essence will still be there. Monday night, getting down, playing games, having a laugh with people that turn up. The Wednesday night workshop, will it be Wednesday nights? Will it be ad hoc? But again, getting paint onto miniatures, getting some of that pile of grey shame painted. I have, as you've just seen, already another 30 odd miniatures, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to how many miniatures I have. There are hundreds and hundreds, so there is so many hours of live streaming of painting to be done. But again, is there tutorials there that people are interested in? And of course, the podcast, I haven't even mentioned that yet. That was a big success for me personally. Back in October, myself, Retro Chef, and Nerdy Geezer, great friends, we decided to do a podcast about our hobbies, because again, they aren't just retro gamers, or they're not just comic book collectors. They are into pretty much everything, much like myself. Maybe not so much at the wargaming tabletop as I am, but then again, they have comic books, they have movies, they have other things that they're interested in that don't always align with me. And I think that's what makes us a really nice group, is that everyone brings something different to that podcast, and we just talk about our hobbies. We just talk about what we've been doing in the month in our hobbies, and often we go off on tangents, but we try and keep it quite short and sweet about each of the topics that we each bring to that podcast. So if you haven't listened to it, please give the podcast a chance, give it a listen, see what you think, and I'd love to get your feedback on it, because again, we've really enjoyed doing it. We've only done 3 episodes at this point, but we're planning to keep going. We have no reason to stop. We've enjoyed it, it's worked, almost straight out of the box. We haven't had any real teething problems in putting it together. We've had some tweaks on sound and stuff like that, but content wise, I think we could easily do more frequent podcasts and possibly even longer podcasts. That's the problem. How do you make sure you try and keep it to that 90 minutes without talking forever? Because certainly I'm someone who can talk a lot. But yes, other things, maybe not pickups videos, but I do get a lot of stuff. So I might start talking about individual collections. So for instance, my Amiga collection that's on the shelf up there, that's all been acquired off camera. I have quite a significant Amiga box collection now that I haven't ever really told anyone about, because I've just been buying the ones I wanted, the ones that I had as a child, or the ones I really wanted as a child. Let's face it, most of us that grew up with an Amiga back in the day, not many of us had actual box games. We all went to the older disc collectors and did our trading and did our copying, good old X-Copy. But yeah, now I've got some great games there. I'd love to talk about those. The same with Back to the Commodore. I was on the hunt for the full Hit Squad collection. I am still one tape away, but I never finished that series. I never finished the going through all of the Hit Squad games, playing them, reviewing them, until I got to the very end. So that's something I can go back to and finish that as well. And like I said before, the homebrew scene. But then talking about the other systems as well. So rather than doing here's games I've picked up and just showing you a bunch of games, I might actually do videos on specific systems that are personal to me and my love of them, and talk about them. And again, the same can be done with board games. The same can be done with wargaming. I can talk about the individual games themselves and why I love them. I never have done a big deep dive on my Hero Quest from when I was a child. I've fully painted my Hero Quest game, plus all of the expansions. I'd love to talk about that and my memories of things like that. So yeah, there's going to be more content there as well. So look, ultimately, I wanted to do this video to just really, one, reassure you that the channel is alive and it is doing things. And if anything I've said you've listened to, you'd like to see more of, then being subscribed to the channel and getting engaged with it is a great way to do it. One of the things I'd love to have this year is more interaction in the comments. I do this really because I want to talk to people. I want to interact with them. I want to have conversations. And one thing my videos have always suffered with is a lack of comments. Now, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I don't specifically ask for comments, or I don't say, hey, let me know your thoughts, or whatever the magic words are. Or maybe people just watch my stuff and then move on, which is also perfectly fine. But if you've made it this far, give me a comment. Like, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you might want to see from me in the future. Was this video just a rambly mess? I think probably part of that is a yes, because that's what I feel like I've done here. But I'm really interested in what you might think about this video, this channel going forward. And what I do promise is that I'll always try to make interesting content, whether that's live streams or the videos. I do genuinely try and make sure it has some level of quality to it. Otherwise I wouldn't put it out there. It's important to me that it looks and feels like a good video. Often I refer to myself as the guy with all the gear but no idea. So yes, I have multiple cameras, I have multiple microphones, I have fancy gadgets here, there and everywhere. It's all voice controlled, it's all hooked up to all different things. I can capture from any corner. That's all well and good. But if you haven't got a clue what you're going to do with your video, maybe you don't need all that gear. There's people that do fantastic channels with just a handheld phone. Not sure there's any other type of phone. I don't know why I said handheld phone, but just a mobile phone, and they crack on and do great. So that's something I want to learn to do, is get better at creating videos that hopefully you'll be interested in watching. So yeah. So with that, look, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to stop rambling. Hopefully I've put some interesting footage over the top of the lodge. There's definitely a room tour coming to show you all the changes in more detail, because I really want to do that. More collabs with people, more live streaming, more content, more events, going to the events. I really enjoyed some of that last year. Yeah, so I've got a big trip coming up this year, actually going to Adepticon, which I think is the largest wargaming convention in the world, and that's in Wisconsin in March. So I'm really looking forward to going to that, because we've never been before. It's me and my eldest son are going, yeah, I mean, obviously it's cool to go to America and do all those things, but also to go to this huge wargaming event going to be really cool as well. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll definitely be doing some video for that. Whether I do a live stream or not, I don't know, but certainly I'm going to be taking loads of pictures and loads of video, because that's probably the one time I'll go. I'm not sure I'll be able to go again, not for any other reason than it feels like an event to go with my son, and I'm sure I'd never want to just go on my own, frankly. But yeah, so really looking forward to that. And then of course there's things like Salute, there is UK Games Expo, there is a plethora of retro things going on, like London gaming markets, and maybe even revivals, or the Blackpool retro event. And also this year we're going to try and go to things like toy fairs and stuff. I've never been to a toy fair before, and I'd love to go. I'd love to see what the vibe of those things is like, and see toys from my childhood and stuff like that. You know, I have a spattering of toys like Action Force, X-Men, Visionaries and stuff like that, He-Man, around the room. It's just nice to add those little things, but also the memories you get from them when you see them. So we'd love to do that. Muscle Men is something I probably always pick up when I see them, or Battle Beasts, or Monsters in My Pocket, those sort of things. I can see myself getting very excited at one of those events, and looking around. So yeah, events is going to be a big thing this year as well, and hopefully I may even see some of you out there. So if you do see me at any of these events, do say hello. I'm pretty terrible at going up and saying hello, so I totally get it, because whenever I see people I see on the internet or whatever, I'm always like, oh, they probably won't want to talk to me or whatever. But let's make sure we try and meet in the middle somewhere. If I'm acting a bit sheepish, you try and keep me honest, and I'll try and do the same as well, because I love to say hello to people. That's just it. It happened to me last year in the queue going to Salute. Someone just happened to be standing in front of me in the queue, and they said, when I said, hey man, I love what you do, and that pretty much made my day. So yeah, it was really cool. So yeah, if you do see me about, give me a shout. I'd love to have a chat. Right, that is it. I am going to end it there. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you had a great Christmas, a great New Year's. I hope you're looking forward to 2025, and hopefully we'll see you on the journey throughout. All right, cheers all. Thanks so much. Bye bye.